Welcome to Rope Dropping Knowledge, where we guide you through the magic of Disney.
It's Mando month. Mando month has started. What are you doing?
Reviewing my notes.
Oh boy.
If it's not about food, I have to study it.
You're a definite bookworm. But the Mandalorian has started. It's exciting. It's great already, even though it's only been one episode.
Yeah, and you have to because
We'll talk about it at the end of the
Yeah.
podcast.
well, 'cause some people complain that it's after watching Andor, the first episode was meh, but you have to
Yeah, but I don't,
compare it to how Mandalorian.
We'll talk about all
is.
that.
Yeah.
After dot points, because we have some people who are allergic to anything that not even spoilers, like spoiler adjacent. They break out in rash and whatever. So we'll do that. I forgot last week we did the Ant-Man review, and we told everyone what the prize is. We posted the prize, but we didn't tell everyone when it ended. So
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's going to end on March 18th, Saturday, March 18th. So get your get your answer in to us. And, and if you want to know what that question is for the answer, then listen to our last episode at the end of the podcast and listen to the spoiler review of Ant-Man, Quantum Mania. All right. So we have a winner for our February giveaway.
Yay!
Felicia's Magical Travels.
Yay, Felicia! Congratulations.
She's a new winner.
And I dropped your stuff off today,
UPS.
so I'll be messaging you the tracking number.
And as we said, we had a backup winner. So Caitlin, Norcalorati,
Caitlin.
won the Loungefly Minnie Mouse. I guess I just call it a heart wallet, but because it has hearts on it, I don't know what else to call it. But
It looks like tattoos,
it kind of looks like it's tattoo
like
art
Ed
of
Hardy.
Minnie, a little bit, but it's Minnie Mouse.
Yeah.
and hearts. So Ed Harty, I guess. It almost looks like Runaway Railway.
Yeah,
type
that's
of
what I was gonna
art.
say. It's
Mhm.
like a good theme for Runaway Railway.
Yeah. So both of you will be receiving your prizes, and they've both been dropped off. And tomorrow? I don't think the tracking numbers even kick in until 10
Yeah.
tonight. So Tracy will send you guys the tracking number and everything. So, because we do have a new month, it's Mando March. Mando Madness. We have a new giveaway, which is a Daniel Nicole Mandalorian backpack. It's pretty cool. We've already posted it. It's white and brown.
Mm-hmm.
Some people might call it tan, but I guess I think it's brown. I grew up with that being brown. With little
I'm just kidding.
with little mythosaur symbols at the bottom. It's pretty cool. It's definitely Mandalorian.
It's like subtle. It's not like a giant Baby Yoda in the front or anything like
yeah,
that.
yeah. It's very. People will have to look at it and be like, "What are those?" Oh, it's Mandalorian. You
Yeah.
know? It's definitely cool for the parks or the cons or whatever, but you could wear it out casually.
Yeah,
too.
since it's so subtle, you can wear it out.
Yeah. So I said we're going to be doing Mandalorian this month, and we are. And our in-park giveaway, I'm not going to announce it yet, but even that's going to be Mandalorian themed. So again, this is March Mando. I probably said it like 6 different ways now. So in order to win this new giveaway, the Mandalorian Daniel Nicole backpack, you have to give us the answer to this question. And we're going to get racist.
Racist?
It's a racist question. Sorry. What Star Wars race of people would you be willing to live with for a year? It could be Ewoks. It could be Wookiees.
Is it called race?
Yeah, they're racist.
Or is it called, like, what do you call different kinds of aliens?
Racist.
Oh.
What, you think you and a Wookiee are the same?
No. I thought it was a different thing, a different word, like humans versus aliens.
Humans, they're a race.
Aliens are a race?
Twi'leks are a race. That's why they have different names, because they're different races.
I know, but I thought there was another word. I don't know.
What other
Being?
word?
Like a human being versus a
Twi'lek
Ewok
being?
I don't know. Okay, you know how I'm always trying to clarify your questions.
You try to clarify things that are simple.
Okay, like mutants versus non-mutants. Is that racist? That's not really a race.
In the
It's-
comic books, the mutants think that they are a race.
Oh.
But they're actually an offspring, sub-race of humanity. If that makes sense. But
I just think there should be another word. There is another word.
what do you mean
But
another
whatever.
word? Calling things racist, the movie came out in 1971. Calling things different races wasn't controversial back then.
No, I thought it was like, I don't know.
It's a race. It's fine. Stop being so uncomfortable.
Being.
Ah. DeSantis is watching. You woke
No,
person.
I'm not trying to be woke. I'm trying to be like accurate.
Yeah, that would be a race.
It's
There's a big difference between Ahsoka and Chewbacca.
Yeah, I know. But I
They have
don't think it's
different
race.
genetics.
I think it's
Well, what do you think a race is? Maybe you just don't know what a race is.
maybe.
That's the problem.
Like
It's-
in the comics,
your
do they
second
really say
language kicking.
race?
Comic books of Star Wars?
Anything.
Yes.
Between a scroll and a.
In the comic books, Magneto calls mutants Homo superior. Like Homo sapiens, they're
Yeah.
Homo superior. A different
Yeah.
race, a superior race.
Oh, okay. Fine.
It gets even more dark. We could keep going down this path, but your ESL is not going to help you. But
Well,
yes.
the human race.
Bam, human race.
Within the human race,
There's no Wookiees.
there's other races.
There's no Porgs.
But within the human race, there's also races. That's why I'm like,
That's the racist. That's actually more racist than anything in Star Wars. That's the irony of it.
yeah.
Is that we're actually not different races.
Right. That's why I'm so confused. I thought
Why would
that,
you be confused when somebody gets it accurate?
No, I thought that races mean within human there's races, but I didn't know that
Yeah, but
non-humans and humans are a race because the humans did it wrong and now I'm messed up.
yeah.
Never mind. Human or being, whatever being you want.
Homo sapiens are one race,
Right.
regardless of whether you're Vietnamese, black.
That's why I thought.
So if you know that that's incorrect,
No, I didn't know. That's incorrect. I
It's
thought we were just
used.
a being versus an alien being, and then whatever.
But yeah,
But alien, whatever. Whoever. What's the question?
I just like hearing you talk.
What's the
I'm
question?
just gonna let you keep going.
Oh, which being? Star Wars being
Star Wars
people?
being.
No, they're not people. They're beings. What Star Wars beings would you live with?
I
Right?
think-
For a year?
I'm messing with you. I know the word you're looking for. I just don't want to say it because I like to
What
hear
is
you
it? What
talk.
is it? Tell me.
Species.
Yes. Why? Why did you do that?
Because you're hilarious.
Species, people, not race.
Would you rather have me say species? Is
Yeah,
that what it-
because I only think race is within human because people make a big deal out of it. Like DeSantis and all those people.
He's not making a big deal about it. He'll probably say that we're all one race. Why are we even talking about?
Or what's the guy who's controversial and got his book comics all canceled?
I don't know.
The Dilbert guy. Speaking of controversy. Poor Dilbert, he didn't even do anything.
DeSantis would be like, we don't have to teach critical race theory because we're all one race. And he's technically correct, but he's morally incorrect.
Yes.
So, if
Well,
you want me
but-
to use species, we'll use species.
Yeah, species.
What Star Wars species would you be willing to spend one
But
year
then
with?
Mandalorians, they're like a cult. Are they a species?
They're humans. Well,
Yeah, they're
mostly
humans. So
Some
they're-
of them,
So they're
but
the
they could be
human
any.
species.
They could be any species.
Okay, species.
Because that's a
cult.
that's not
whatever.
No, they're a society. They're a culture.
Culture. Cult. Culture.
Well,
Cult
no.
is short for culture.
Because like American culture has a lot of different ethnicities in it, right? But you can
Yes.
be American. That's like Mandalorians. Mandalorians are a culture.
So
it's
can
it's
you
a
say-
belief system.
What if, can I say,
It's like a religion.
I want to live with a stormtrooper species, but they're not a species.
Well, all stormtroopers are human
So it's
because Palpatine was racist.
yeah, species slash.
So you could
whatever,
say human. That would
But-
be correct.
but the stormtrooper ones.
You could say, "Hey, I want to live with humans because only humans can be stormtroopers." That would be an answer.
No, no, I want to say I want to live with stormtroopers.
Why would you want to live with stormtroopers?
No,
They're
I'm just
lame.
saying as an example. What if somebody wants to?
I think you're a secret stormtrooper.
What if somebody likes Finn and wants to get to know him?
They could give any answer they want.
Yeah.
They just have to give a species or race.
Yes, stormtroopers are race.
No, it's not. Oh man, you're so funny.
Oh wait, we forgot to go back to what Felicia said her answer was, because I thought it was interesting.
She said species.
No, she said she wanted to take Moana to Disney parks
Ah.
because Moana knows how to navigate.
Mm-hmm.
She's good with directions and she loves adventure and not afraid to try new things.
That's a very good Disney answer.
That's very practical.
Who did you want to take to the Disney parks?
Lightning McQueen because I don't want to walk everywhere. So he can, when I'm tired, I'm like, give me a ride. Sorry, I'm just using them as like tools. I was thinking more like, oh, what's the tool that'll make it convenient for
It's not
me?
going to fit in a lot of places.
Yeah, but at least like drop me off here. You know? Yeah, and a lot of people said genie.
I think that's a great one.
Then you only get 3 wishes.
They might just want to hang out with them.
I'd be like, hey, could you get rid of this dumb Genie Plus thing?
Genie, can you get rid of Genie?
Yeah, get rid of yourself. Just kidding. And the horse, I forgot the name.
And Tangled?
Yeah, the horse. Same reason why I want to take McQueen, just to ride around.
They already got horses at Disney.
But I don't know how to ride a horse, so I'm like, oh, McQueen it is.
Do you know how to swim?
No.
And you don't know how to ride a bike either?
Nope. And I've only been on public transportation when I was an adult. The first time I was on public transportation, I was an adult.
Yeah, you're definitely interesting. Okay.
But back to the Mandalorian giveaway question that I always complicate and clarify.
Yeah, it's hilarious. What Star Wars species of people would you be willing to
No, they're not
live-
people; they're species.
Well, we could still be people. Would you be willing to live with for a year?
Yes.
So again, Ewoks, Wookiees, Twi'leks.
Droids.
Uh,
No.
technically
Oh.
a species. They're not
Okay.
alive, technically. But if someone said droids, okay. As long as you gave the droid type. Like
Oh, the droid type?
astromechs,
I don't know
assassin
that.
droids.
The ones that do everything for me.
Every droid. Huts. The Huts are a species.
Yes,
And they got money.
they're mean.
Yeah, they're mean, but if you're their friend, they got a lot of money. You can watch pod racing with them up in their stand.
Hmm.
All right. Direct message us your answer to Rope Dropping Knowledge. And you can do that via Facebook direct message, Instagram direct message, or info@ropedroppingknowledge.com. must be 18 years or older, live in the United States, and this particular giveaway ends at 11:59 p.m. on March 25th. That's a Saturday. All right.
Well, the news I have this week are boring because the headlines, I mean, because DeSantis finally signed the Reedy Creek takeover bill, they called it, into law. So, which just says, he gets to pick the board members. There's still it's still its own governing body, so I don't even know what the big deal is. But
yeah, it's not really a win, and that's why Disney's not doing anything really. It's just like whatever. So you get to pick board members to do what?
and he gets to name it. But
Because
it's
the Reedy Creek district, like the main thing that Roy and Walt wanted out of it was no red tape when it came to expansion. So as far as I don't think
So
they're not going to grow anymore. Really,
they called it a government takeover of the Reedy Creek district.
Well, I mean, but it's like board members. It's like
Yeah.
but it's not like the board members get to decide which rides are in the park.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's still a company. It's still like
So
they
it's
don't.
still the
they're not
district
involved.
especially for Disney.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah. It's like
he assigns the board members.
so. Like if let's say you live in a county and you have a board of supervisors, or you live in a city and you have a city council, right?
Uh-huh.
Basically, they're saying that DeSantis got to pick the members of the city council. But if you already have a business in that city, it's not really much the city council can do because they can't change the laws that the city already operates under.
Oh,
You see what I mean?
yeah.
So it's not. It's like okay, you get to be able to what, It's
Pick the
not
board
like
members.
if Disney comes out with a movie they don't like, they could say, okay, now you have to shut down Space Mountain.
Right.
They don't have the power to do that.
Right.
They could basically cause red tape if they want to like build. So like when it comes to building permits and things like that, they could like hold it up and but then they would have to give a reason as to why, and that's when Disney would sue. But
That lawsuit's already still
yeah, it's,
going. So
and well that's not even Disney's. Disney's
yeah,
didn't even
that's
file
just the
that.
citizens. Yeah.
And now they don't really have, a lot of standing because I think on the Florida government, what they realized, and we said this before, if they were to dissolve, because basically what he said at the beginning is that he's going to dissolve Reedy Creek.
Yeah.
Disney wouldn't care. Okay, fine. Then you guys are getting stuck with a $1 billion bond that the Reedy Creek Improvement District has to pay. They owe that. So if you're dissolving the entity that is the holder of that bond, then the taxpayers of the two counties that Disney World straddles would have to come up with that money.
Yeah.
And then their property taxes would skyrocket. So they backed off of that and they said, well, just like I said, because Disney had a provision that they could build an airport and a nuclear power plant, which they were never planning on doing. And they said, well, Disney can't build a nuclear power plant. And we're going to pick the board members or some of the board members for the Reedy Creek District. Win for me. It's not a win because the biggest thing that the district does is give it a special tax status, which remains. Yeah. They can issue bonds, which remains. So all the money stuff, all the things that the Disney
matters,
corporate cares about stays the same.
Yeah. This was just like a press conference for theater purposes because he declared that the corporate kingdom will come to an end and there's a new sheriff in town. That's what he said. And
corporate kingdom. All his money comes from corporations.
And he said, and he doubled down, and he talked about that law again that says, this California-based company cannot inject, sexuality and impose agenda on Florida or whatever, because he was talking about Bill. So,
but nothing. I mean, regardless of how you feel about that, nothing about Reedy Creek affects Disney content.
No.
So I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do?
It's like a show and theater, it's fine, whatever. Do what you want.
I mean, it is what it is, and honestly, he's wasting a lot of time because Trump's gonna spank him if he tries to run for president. That's going to be entertaining because he thinks he's like, all these people, they went to Florida. I was watching this.
Yeah.
I was watching
was
Fox
funny.
News go to Florida.
They went to this diner.
and interview all these people. Who are you voting for? They're like, Trump.
And there's
Then
a
there was
lady.
with a DeSantis T-shirt. Who you voted for? DeSantis or Trump?
There's one lady with the shirt that think, okay, surely she's gonna say DeSantis. And even then, she's like, I don't know.
Because Fox News wants to pump up DeSantis. You're getting spanked. You can't beat the Donald, man. You ain't gonna beat him. He's gonna embarrass you.
That's funny.
I'm not a Trump fan, but the guy's funny. he's gonna roast you.
He is funny.
I
roast. Only laugh now because
he's gonna roast Meatball. Little Meatball's getting smoked.
Oh man.
But
good times.
And that's not a political opinion. That's a comedy opinion.
Yeah.
Because he did it to the other Republican candidates in the first Republican primary he ran in.
The Rubio and all these other guys. Yeah. That's funny.
So he's doing this, and it's actually, this is where DeSantis is, I guess, kind of smart, is that he's going to lay in the cut and hope that Trump dies of a heart attack or something before the election.
That's sad.
No, that's what he's doing.
Because wish somebody
he can't
would die.
That's what he wishes. No, and
Really?
that's on both sides of the aisle. By the way, that's not a harsh take on Republicans or Democrats, because there's Democrats hoping that Biden dies so they can run. See, you have two kings that are really unbeatable within their own parties.
Jeez.
And so, but they're both in their mid to late 70s.
Yeah.
And so they're just like, and they're both not in the best of health. So they're like,
Biden doesn't have any health issues, does he?
He's more cognitive, but that's usually a sign of something.
Well, I mean, he looks healthy. You know what I mean?
He rides a bike and then falls off it. Trump is like, I ain't even trying that. But that's the grim, bitter political news that we have. We're not even a political podcast, but I still find it entertaining.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna skip the next one because we're over it. Yeah, so let's talk about Toontown.
What about Toontown?
So it's opening March 19th, and they revealed the new eateries. There's going to be 2 new locations. One is called Daisy or Cafe Daisy, and that's an actual, like, I don't know if it's a sit down, but maybe quick service kind of restaurant, kind of like Alien Pizza Planet kind of restaurant, I think. Not really make reservations, but table service, but like sit down eating.
Yeah.
So what they'll have there, some of the things I noted were, and I posted this, is the Daisy's Dressed Up Dog, which is a foot-long beef hot dog with chili, mac and cheese, and Parmesan potato crisp on top. So that's the dressed up one. But then there's also the Daisy dog, the regular Daisy dog with this just a plain hot dog. And then there's this funny cheesy pizza flop over, they call it. So there's one that's just cheese and one with pepperoni. So it looks like, from the pictures, it looks like a pizza that's just folded up. You know, like how New Yorkers eat pizza, like that.
Right.
So it looks like a sandwich pizza.
Yeah, it's basically a calzone with no sides.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Calzone,
it's an open calzone.
Open calzone, yeah. So that looks interesting. For the vegetarians, there's a spring garden wrap, which is this romaine lettuce, quinoa in a wrap, lemon dressing, toasted pumpkin seeds.
That sounds okay.
There's also some snacks like Toontown.
Quinoa's actually not bad on some of the stuff.
I think of it as like a rice, though. I have to eat
Yeah,
it
it
with
is kind of
something
like a
on the
rice.
side or something.
Yeah,
You know?
but I mean, prepared with the right stuff, it tastes pretty good. I mean, it tastes decent.
The picture looks good.
Yeah.
There's some cool snacks there. The Toontown Tater Chips. It's basically house-made chips with chili sauce. You can add
Is
it
it
to any
spicy?
meal.
Or
I
do we
think
know?
chili sauce, meaning like, you know that thing, it's like chili with cheese. You know the thing we had at Jason's house that Jason made? It was like a chili with cheese.
I know what
cheese.
it is. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah,
but-
it's just called chili sauce.
Yeah.
But So then this is cool. The dessert is Daisy's Goody Goody Donuts with cinnamon sugar.
Yeah, those look
That
pretty
looks
cool.
good. They look like mini donuts.
Yeah, I think they are. Well, they are technically.
They are
they're-
mini donuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope they're not that one, like the ones that in the gas station. You know those mini donuts.
You think
the
they're just
gas
gonna
sta-
go to
the
like
Hostess.
7-Eleven
No,
and just
yeah,
break open the
maybe-
packages?
No. yeah, they could buy it in bulk from Hostess, like they did with the churros.
I think they're gonna probably make them on site.
I hope so.
That's typically what they do.
And then they have some drinks, the picnic time watermelon lemonade, and this is the one I want to try is the specialty cold brew. It's made up of caramel mudslide cold brew from Joffrey's with sea salt and whipped topping.
Hmm.
That looks good. I want to try that with the donuts.
You
Everything
try it.
else, I don't know.
You try every cold brew that comes out.
Yeah. Maybe the chips. I don't know about the floppy pizza or whatever. Yeah, so all that is at, then there's more. There's like a kids' meal menu and everything. So all that is at Cafe Daisy. I wonder if it replaced that ice cream place. You know, the frozen yogurt place?
Oh yeah.
Clarabelle's. The other Clarabelle's.
Yeah, I forgot the name of it, but
It's
yeah.
called Clarabelle's
Is
as
it?
well. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's exciting. So we won't be there. The next time we're there, it's not open yet.
Mm-hmm.
But then
Yeah,
Are
because
we
it got
going-
pushed back, right?
to the 19th. So are we going again on the 24th? Yeah, we'll
24th.
see it on the 24th.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that's new is called Good Boy Grocers, and it's a grab and go drinks and snacks place. So kind of like that place when you walk into DCA on the right, you see like pickles and tangerines,
Yeah.
or cuties or whatever.
I always wondered how well that place did.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's been there forever, so it must be doing pretty well.
I know like pickles are a thing,
You know, a lot of people like the pickles.
but I think that place in Disneyland is more crowded because they have those pineapple skewer
Yeah.
things. But yeah, this place will have pickles, Baby Bell cheese, Coca-Cola beverages, water,
You know, the cuties.
fruit bars, whole fruit.
Hmm.
No, but here's where the cuties come in. They're going to offer this picnic basket novelty item. I posted a picture of it. It's like a
Oh,
It's like a picnic basket looking thing. And that picnic basket, it's like a popcorn bucket, but this is a picnic basket. And what it comes with is you get to pick 3 snacks to go with it. Cuties is one of them, yogurt smoothie, applesauce, granola bar, fig bar.
and how many does the picnic basket feed?
Well, you get 3 snacks and a drink.
Oh, okay.
So it's like one kid.
Oh,
Because
so
they're
it's pretty
snacks.
small.
Yeah.
It's a small
Well,
basket.
and you get to pick a water or a juice box, but it's a big basket, but it's just like
A big
for-
basket, but a meal for one.
like a
kid.
popcorn bucket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it's cute though. I don't know, but it'll take up too much space in our home.
Yeah.
But it is cute. So, if we get one, we'll give it away or something.
I'm sure somebody would want it to.
Yeah.
We
so
get more requests for this popcorn buckets and sippers than we get
Yeah.
for like actual.
well, because they're
I'll be walking
in
around
park-
with a Loungefly wallet or a Kate Spade wallet to
Oh,
give
it's like,
away,
no,
and people,
they want the-
we want the sipper.
because those are park exclusives. Because they don't even have it in Disney World.
ah
So
for the hard
like the sippers and these popcorn buckets we get,
Mm-hmm.
they don't have it at Disney World.
Hmm.
But they have Figment, which we don't know who that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's fun. I'm actually excited to try all these new things and what Toontown will look like. So
It's gonna look crowded
yeah,
because it's gonna be because they're trying to make it a hangout spot. When they start adding things like more food,
yeah,
what happens is they even people who aren't really jazzed to go on the rides or people who do go on the rides there will stay there longer. So
maybe in the beginning.
no, always.
Because look at Galaxy's Edge. That's where I go to hide from the crowds.
I know because they don't really offer stuff to the average. They have meals there, but like for the cantina, you got to have a reservation. It's hard to get on, Rise of Resistance. and then the stuff that they sell in the market, the big
Mhm.
open market, is
Mhm.
like stuff that it's not really.
It's like meh.
Well, it's not mad. It's Star Wars specific. So, like, if you're not a Star Wars fan, you
Yeah.
kind of don't care.
Yeah.
And you're still in Disneyland,
Yeah,
even though
that's
it's
true.
Star Wars part
And
of Disneyland.
Towns is like kind of interactive and it's cute and you
Well,
know.
I mean, people are going to go there anyway because one, it's right next to Fantasyland, and
Yeah.
two, it's it has the new ride there. It has Roger Rabbit there, so and it has rides that little kids can go on. Because even the little roller coaster they have that only lasts like 30 seconds
Yeah.
is built for smaller kids.
Yeah.
So there's no height limits really. And so you're going to go there, and it's kind of like an extension of Fantasyland. So all the people in Fantasyland that gets crowded are going to bleed into there.
Yeah.
And then
And
you have
there's-
food when you get off the ride. You stay.
And
buy
there's more
stuff.
things for kids to touch and do there. Remember
Yeah.
the jail with the
Mhm.
and then the ball
Yeah.
and the pumping, the
Yeah.
dynamite thing.
There's
So
more
there's
noise,
a lot.
stepping on the
Yeah,
things.
there's more stuff to touch and interact.
And you have to understand, keeping somebody in a particular land for 5 extra minutes is huge. That's a
Yeah.
huge thing. One person per 5 minutes, then you got to multiply that over like 10,000 people.
They just need some shade over there.
I know it's
They
hot.
hope that the reimagined land
But if you
has
look
more
at
trees.
most like metropolitan parks and stuff, no, not parks, but like parks that are like outside municipal buildings and stuff,
Yeah.
there's no shade,
Yeah,
but there's tons of kids.
because they can't plant trees there.
No, it's just that they want more room.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah. So, and the reason that is so that takes away the congestion from other areas. It spreads it out more.
Yeah,
So even if let's say there's 2,000 people in Toontown, that's still 2,000 people
Yeah.
that are not in the rest of the park.
and then now that theater right outside has stuff going on, like the Lion
Mhm.
King show, and
Yeah. They want to stretch that crowd out because Fantasyland is crazy congested on busy days.
yeah.
Like you can't even walk through it at like noon.
Oh yeah, there's strollers, like
You know.
parking.
Yeah, strollers parking, and just people, and it's kind of like a hub because people use Fantasyland to get from like Tomorrowland to like Galaxy's Edge sometimes
Mhm.
because you can just walk around.
Mhm.
But then everybody has the same idea.
Yeah.
Then it gets super crowded. And Fantasyland again with the kiddie rides, it's like that.
It's
like,
classic Disney.
I mean, how long did Mia just stay in Fantasyland before she got old enough to ride
Yeah.
other rides? I mean, it was years.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Now her sister stays there and never leaves.
And then, it's going to be a year or two before she leaves.
Mhm.
So, yeah. Good designing. And, I hope it works out. What's next?
Well, that's all we have. Taste Talk is next.
Ooh.
It's Taste Talk with Tracy. Mash some magic in your mouth.
So we did it. Last week we talked about the quesadilla flatbread, and we finally tried it.
Mm-hmm.
You finally got to try your fusion food.
It's fusion.
Not fusion.
Yep.
There wasn't any tomato sauce in there.
Flatbread.
Yeah.
Mexican meat. It's fusion.
Did you like it? I thought it was okay.
It was pretty good. It's exactly what it is. It's
Yeah.
flatbread with birria on top. So it's not
Yeah.
like fusion in the sense of like they came up with something new. It's just that they added two foods together, kind of. So in the sense of like it's not like there's birria taste throughout the bread or anything. It's
Yeah.
just
You
but
dip it in the consommé.
but they did have the sauce to dip.
It's chili braised beef, cheese, caramelized onions, salsa verde, radish, cilantro, and the consommé.
Mm.
The bread was kind of chewy, but I guess if you dip it in the sauce enough, it'll just soften up.
It was not chewy to me, but it tastes like normal flatbread. But I think it was pretty good. I mean, would I go to Magic Key Terrace just for that? No.
No.
But if it's raining and pouring, would I go up there and have
Yes.
some? Yeah.
We went there just for the drinks.
Yeah. Well, and it's covering you from the rain because
Yeah.
they just let you go into the covered part.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
And then they had the heater.
And then we stayed there for a long time.
Yeah, we had dessert and everything. I mean,
Yeah. I
I left the dessert for its own taste talk because it was so good.
Mm.
but- The second thing we had was the barbecue short rib sliders.
Now, those were good, but it's one of those things where the barbecue is not like sweet.
Yeah, it was salty.
Well, it's not even salty. It's more like vinegary. It's more like pot roast.
Yeah, I think it was like well, actually, it tells you what kind of sauce. It's a corn aioli pickled cabbage.
Yeah, it's like a pot roast. So if you're going in there thinking of like Kansas City barbecue, and if you bite into it, you're going to be shocked your first bite. But it is good. It's really good. It's just that you have to adjust your taste expectations.
I think mine had too much sauce because mine was super salty. But I like the corn aioli.
That was fun.
I like anything aioli. And then they serve it on like grilled corn ribs. So it's like you see the picture. It's like a corn, but they chopped it up into ribs. So you eat it like a rib.
Yeah. Yeah.
I liked it.
No,
I like the
they were
corn.
good. I'd recommend it. I'd recommend that over the flatbread.
Yeah, me too.
So.
And we had our Millionaires Manhattan
Those are always good.
to go with it.
Those are always good.
yeah.
Yeah, I recommend going to Magic Key Terrace. Once in a while. It's a great, especially if you're tired. It's a nice place to just chill.
to chill. That one day when it was super hot, we went there to chill.
And we stayed there for like 2 hours.
But it was still like kind of miserable because it was outdoor.
Oh, that was the other half.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I like it up there, and I think they should. Well, because Sonoma Terrace it's kind of has that same environment. It's just low to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
But those are my kind of spots. Like I like going to Disneyland and just kind
Yeah.
of having places to chill when I want to chill.
They better not like
and
get
go
rid of
on the
those
rides.
things because you know how they're starting to retheme everything in DCA and
Yeah, I don't.
those are like the winery type of places. That I
Yeah.
hope they're not going to be like, all right, I think DCA is no longer everything California. Let's just put some IP here. Like
Yeah.
Pacific Wharf is a California thing, and now it's going to become San Francisco.
Yeah, but they're still going to keep the food stuff, and they're going to want the seating there, because a lot of people come there and they upcharge the alcohol, and so
Mm-hmm.
so even when it's not crowded, they're making money there, because if you're spending $10 on a beer, it's like
Yeah, I'm wondering what. So you know how there's Sonoma Terrace, and then there's the Wine Country Trattoria restaurant.
that's the one they're going to get
and
rid
then
of.
there's the winery thing. I wonder what they're using that big empty space
Yeah, they
for.
might.
They
they're
used
gonna-
to have it as
well,
a
you
photo
know,
spot.
The Trattoria is gone.
Really?
We already announced it. I just don't know when
We
they.
did?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So I don't know what they're going to do with that. So
But
We'll
that
see.
they could just retheme as a different restaurant. But that empty wine cellar thing that we used to take photos, they used to use as a photo spot.
yeah,
Who knows what that is?
I
That's
don't know.
like,
I think they have to ask Nutmeg. She's the boss there.
oh yeah, the cat.
All right.
So we all saw the preview or trailer of Peter and Wendy. It's gonna be out on Disney Plus April 28th. It's a live action.
Yep.
Peter.
People are
I
getting.
forgot who Wendy. I know Wendy's the girl in the blue dress, but who is she?
the girl in the blue dress, basically.
I know, but in
It's like
relation to Peter, I forgot the whole story. Like, is that her house that Peter flew to?
yeah, and she has 2 brothers, and then he takes them to Neverland. She's the one
Oh,
that he gives the pixie dust,
He
and then they
didn't-
fly away.
that was her house.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He lives in Neverland.
Oh.
Neverland.
You know what? It's because I saw the Robin Williams Peter Pan. I got confused because he grew up and married Wendy and all that
you
stuff.
use the word confused a lot.
I'm just one confused person. So yeah, that's coming out April 20. I don't know. It looks. I think it looks good. I don't know. I can't tell.
I don't know. I mean, it's going to be probably somewhat of a retelling. There's some people already upset that there's a Black Tinkerbell.
Oh yeah, you were talking about that. I don't even remember in
I don't.
the trailer. But
I don't even know. But They already have the actors and actresses who are playing everything. So
Yeah, it's going to be released next month. So
yeah, I mean, but a lot of people just kind of nostalgic and they just really want, because that's a classic. So they want people, Disney to go back to more classic stuff. And since they already had a live action, it's not like this is going to be the first live action.
yeah,
So that's better. They know kind
but
of
this
what to
is
do and
not
what not
Peter
to do.
Pan live action. This is Peter and Wendy, which is a different story. It's
Yes.
kind of like
We'll
Huntsman versus,
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, Hook was a different story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
So,
that.
We'll see. We will see.
So on yesterday, right? Yesterday was March 1st. It snowed at Disneyland, and we saw all these videos of people there running around in the snow because Californians think it's so weird, like cool,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
weird that it's snowing. So it was snowing and hailing and everything. So it was a strange sight to see.
They should have just had like Elsa on hold and like if
Yes.
it ever snows, like that's your job. What
Yeah.
is paying you? You're on call, and so
A lot of people were saying,
just,
"Yeah, Elsa, where are you? Where are you?"
they just pop her out. She don't. They just hire a new one every year, and then if it snows, she just comes out. Yeah, I mean, again, not trying to make this a political podcast, but for those who say there's no such thing as climate change, it snowed at Disney.
How's that political? That's climate change. Well,
Don't say stuff you already know the answer to.
That's like saying, how's masks and vaccines political?
She acts like, oh, I'm so confused. That's why I say these weird things that provoke people. I don't know what I'm doing. I know exactly what you're doing.
But it's just the weather.
Oh, but and this is my confused voice.
The weather is changing because of something going on
Yeah.
in the, what do you call it? The polar something?
No, it's
Oh, the equator? I don't know. I'm just rattling off words I
Yes.
know that has to do with the globe, the earth.
Yeah. Well, it could cool off a little bit, but I could do without the wind and the rain.
Yeah.
That's what we.
It was okay today.
Yeah. Last
Still
night
cold.
it wasn't, but
And also, as of yesterday, your Magic Band Plus will now interact with those platinum statues that are now all correctly quoted. So when we went, I thought it was ready, but I forgot my band anyways. But now it actually will work like it did at Disney World.
yeah. What do they actually do? I always
Remember,
forget.
I forgot what Carrie said. Something about you flash it and it does something.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? You go near it and your band will flash.
Oh.
I don't know if you were supposed to use the Play app to do something.
Yeah, there was something with the play app. but I
Then
don't
I'll
know.
bring my Magic Band next time. If nobody stands in my way, I'll use it. I'll try it.
All right. Well, I think that's all we have today.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk some Mandalorian. So those of you who want to cut out, we're gonna talk first episode of Mandalorian, and then maybe some thoughts on the series right after these chimes. Cool. So, Mandalorian, technically episode 17, because I like how they keep
Chapter
counting.
17.
Chapter 17, yeah.
I didn't realize it was so long ago
2
that I
years.
didn't realize that the Luke one was chapter 16. I
Mhm.
thought that was season 1, the Luke thing.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm like, wait, that was the last episode? Which the Luke and everybody crying? Like,
Yeah.
the reactions crying.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a while ago.
2 years. Yeah, it's been a while because then they said that there was stuff going on behind the scenes, that caused a delay, but who knows? But they put in Book of Boba Fett, which
Oh,
is kind
yeah.
of like a sub Mandalorian.
Yeah, because
thing.
2 of the most crucial episodes.
It had Grogu and Din Djarin in it.
Yeah, and they were pretty important because it was
Yeah.
Luke and everybody.
Then they ended the whole thing with him
Yeah.
fighting the Rancor and all this stuff.
Yeah, so it was a pretty important.
What was kind of weird well, not weird, but it's kind of a shift in psychology because Favreau said that, well, not just going to catch everybody up on everything.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an actual quote. He said, if people really want to know what's going on, there's plenty of they can watch the recaps on YouTube. So they're aware that of all these YouTube channels that do nothing but cover like
Yeah.
Disney stuff,
Yeah.
Marvel and Star Wars, and because now that for an executive to say that,
Mm-hmm.
that's huge because it's kind of like first they're acknowledging like that's how much value they add to us, that we have free marketing, free advertising. If you want to know anything about our stuff, there's an infinite encyclopedia on YouTube that you
Yeah.
can go to.
That's
And
why
that we don't own. We don't care.
you don't even
go
have to
there.
watch all of Rebels, all of the Clone War.
Mm-mm.
Like I got it because I watch the YouTube things, and then you have some of the deep cuts.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh yeah, I get it. I know who Bo-Katan is. I know who Sabine is. I know who Satine is.
Yeah.
But everyone else is like, what?
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. So how did I like this episode? So I liked it because they didn't start slow. They know they've been gone. It's almost like they knew they've been gone for so long.
Mm-hmm.
They got to get right into the action. So
Yeah.
this is something, and I have my criticisms of like all the Star Wars type fandom that just likes to, I call them the pew pews.
The pew pews. Oh yeah.
the pew pew pew. Like
That's why they didn't like Andor.
didn't like
there was no
Andor.
pew pew.
Right, because or very little,
Mm-hmm.
and it was, like if there's not lightsabers, if there's not the Force, if there's not this or that, then it's like they think, well, this is not Star Wars, and it's like, well, it's a whole universe,
Mm-hmm.
and technically it's a galaxy because they have a whole galaxy to explore.
Yeah.
So there's lots of stories that could come out of that, and if you want continued stories, they can't just keep rehashing the same stuff because they tried to rehash the same stuff in the sequels, and those same people got mad. Even though they got their pew pew.
Yeah, because the lightsabers and the Force, I feel like, is saved for the core Star Wars stuff, like episodes 1 through 9.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, all the other Star Wars outside of that is no Force, no lightsaber. There are some,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's like, here's other stuff in Star Wars universe besides
But I think
Skywalker.
it should be. I think it should be special because, like, what Andor did was, yeah. I mean, I guess you could say it was boring if that's all. If you're like into the WWE Star Wars stuff, right? But what it did is show that the boring average people, why they matter. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yes, they may be boring, but that was the point.
Yeah,
it's like these are
they're
average
not
people.
boring. They're just
Well, no, but I mean they're mundane, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Boring in the sense of like if you just heard about them, you wouldn't go seek them out to find out what they're
yeah.
But they matter, and they matter in the real world.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of people who would rather to just have all our problems in the real world solved by Jedis and Sith and
Yeah, but they did
but
plug
that's not
in
how
a lot
things
of holes and gaps.
No, yeah, and I think they said, but the real thing, Jedi and Sith don't matter if average people don't do stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that was a very important part of why Andor contributed to that. And now when I see all the Mandalorians and the Sith and the Star Wars and it's like, yeah, the reason why this happened is because there are small people everywhere who, not small people, but normal people
Mm-hmm.
who are just doing their thing. And when they rise up, that makes the other things possible.
Yeah.
Because Luke Skywalker doesn't blow up a Death Star if there's no rebellion, and there's no rebellion if it's not for average folk.
Yep.
So if that makes sense. So, but
the gaps that fills it in was when there was just Star Wars, the core Star Wars series. It's more like, all right, what happened these 30 years that that
But that's another piece, right? So you have all this time, this big time jump to get to.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I think the sequels did right, is that they did jump 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you did it, well, first of all, they probably did it because of the actors involved,
Mhm.
right? Because they're just 30 years older
Mhm.
or more.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that one of the things that is really cool about it is that it's they're bringing in new characters,
Mm-hmm.
and the storylines can lead up to the sequels.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they're even going to surpass them, as far as quality,
Yeah.
because they're getting to build a story, and people can get on board, and they have one leader, technically two. They have Filoni and
Mhm.
Favreau,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to get to build this thing that started with the first episode of Mandalorian way back. When was it? 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before the world shut down.
Yeah, and then they're going to be able to just continue to build
Mhm.
that same foundation. And this episode started with, it was pretty much what we thought was a flashback.
Oh yeah, the
You know,
beginning.
So these Mandalorians are there because you remember the last time we saw them was in the book of Boba Fett, and it was basically the armorer and
Yeah, there's
Favreau.
two people, and then in season one, looked like they were all extinct or something.
And she's like, yeah, some are hiding here, some are hiding there. It's like, yeah. But then we get there, and there's all these Mandalorians,
Yeah.
even though they're in mismatched armor and
Mhm.
whatever, and then they're basically doing a Mandalorian baptism,
Mm-hmm.
and so, and then they're doing it, and then they put this helmet on the kid. Everyone's like, well, I hope that helmet can be resizable because the kid's gonna grow because the kid's like 12.
Yeah, that's right.
That's Jimmy Kimmel's nephew. by the
Oh,
way.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So, and he was also in some Marvel stuff. So,
Huh.
yeah, it's interesting. But nepotism pays.
Well, he's on ABC, so yeah, Disney.
Yeah.
Disney
Mhm.
does own Jimmy Kimmel Show.
So they're doing this baptism, and so to where he gets his helmet and then he can never take it off, and all his hair is coming out the back, and and then I think they do doing what I would call a Florida baptism because they almost all get eaten by a giant alligator.
Yeah.
Giant alligator just comes out of
It's
the
like,
freaking water.
could you choose another place with water, but without a big giant monster alligator coming out?
Call that a Florida baptism. And they were losing.
Yeah.
He ate a couple of Mandalorians.
Yeah.
That's alligator. And some people are speculating that it might be Vizsla's son, because you know how proud he looked
Mm.
when he was out there, and he's
Yeah.
just like, and then as soon as they popped off, he was the one like, get the kids out of here,
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm wondering if that's the case, but yeah, it was pretty cool. And then they were losing, and they're getting stomped. And I mean, Mandalorians weren't looking very good for people who,
Could
reported-
fly and everything.
well, not only that, they tamed a mythosaur. Their whole crest is about taming
Oh,
giant
yeah.
monsters.
Where's their
A giant monster pops up, and then it's like, ooh, I don't know.
Where's their mythosaur tamer?
I know. I mean, I got mythosaurs on the backpack we're giving away.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how much they're known. So, yeah, they were getting spanked, and then Din Djarin comes in, and his Naboo starfighter blows up the alligator.
Yeah, what kind of special grenade or whatever does he have that blows it up? But they were blowing up the thing this whole time.
It's guns on a ship versus held guns. They're just bigger. And
Yeah,
more
but remember
powerful.
they had those things? They flew on top of it. And
Oh, like those
put
little
gr-
grenade charges.
Yeah.
Yeah. It blew up
And-
some of it. It hurt it,
Yeah.
It blew up its out of scale, but it wasn't enough. But something that can blow up a starship is going to blow up an alligator.
Oh, yeah, true.
you know? And so then he lands, he goes in, and then there's this whole thing of, I mean, we knew he wasn't going to be welcome,
Right.
He
Because took off his helmet.
again, for the people who didn't watch Book of Boba Fett, he admitted he took off his helmet to the armorer, and then, well, you are a Mandalorian no more, and so he basically he has to go and bathe in the living waters of the mines underneath Mandalore, which is weird, and so
Oh, like get rebaptized.
he used to get rebaptized, yeah. Born again. And so, but the planet's supposedly destroyed and poisoned, just blasted apart. He brings back this piece of glass he said he got from a Jawa For some reason, everybody in Star Wars always finds the right Jawa with the right stuff,
Yeah.
Like, this is what I've been looking for. And so I guess that kind of proves that somebody's actually been to the planet. Therefore, now he starts his quest for redemption because he's an apostate. Then it kind of goes where? He goes to Navarro, right? I think he goes to
Yes.
Navarro after that, and they have... What is it? It's not IG-88. I forget the assassin droid. IG-11, I think.
IG-11.
Yeah. He's a statue because
Yeah,
he
he's-
sacrificed himself in season 1.
Yeah. So he's like the Rocky statue.
Yeah, they did the
And
Rocky
then the
statue.
guy, Carl Weathers is Creed. and
I know,
so
that's
Rocky
hilarious.
Creed.
It's like, are you ever gonna get your own statue? Every movie is gonna make statues for everyone but you. Grogu's gonna get a statue before you.
Yeah.
So he's now
Like a magistrate? Is that what they
he
call it?
he'll call it a high magistrate.
High magistrate, that's right. And then he has these droids carrying his cape around, like
That was
like
hilarious.
a wedding dress where you have the bridesmaid carry the
Yeah,
train.
so the bottom
He has
doesn't touch
yeah.
the ground. That was hilarious.
And he's dragging them down the stairs like plonk, 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 plonk.
I have to admit, that was the comedy in this episode was great.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing I think we did miss.
Yeah.
There's really no comedy in Andor. I could deal without the Force and the lightsabers, but sometimes you want to chuckle,
Well, Baby Yoda is the comedy. Grogu is the comedy.
No, but I'm saying in Andor there's no comedy.
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
it's serious.
That's
That's
what I'm
like
saying. This one is
that's like
not
Bridge
only
on the River
Grogu,
Kwai,
but now they're putting jokes and stuff.
that's like
in there.
watching a Vietnam documentary. But this is fun. And then they had I forget so he wants to rebuild, IG-11 for some reason. I don't know why he
Because
wants
that was the droid that protected Grogu and saved
healed him. Yeah.
Healed him, saved him, and
Because you remember, and a lot of people forget because it's been so long ago that he hated droids the first
Yeah.
season. He hated them. Get them away from me. He didn't even want them like in the same room.
Mm-hmm.
And because droids killed his parents,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's he has reasons. He has his
Mhm.
reasons, but then he ended up trusting the droid, and now he wants this particular droid back. But it detonated himself with a thermal detonator. It
Yeah.
blew himself up. They said they were barely able to get the pieces back that they found. He thinks he can do it. He turns them on, and then the droid defaults to its original programming, which is to kill Grogu.
And he
It starts
tries to kill
crawling
Grogu.
towards him like a zombie, right?
Yeah.
The zombie with no legs.
Yeah.
And then he gets smashed by the protocol droid by tipping Carl Weathers' bust on top of it, smashing it. So that's pretty funny.
And then Dinjarin joked. He
That's
said,
using
"Now
your
that's
head.
using your head." So they try
That's
to
a-
put
that's a-
jokes.
That's like an Obi-Wan joke, though.
Yeah.
It's like lame. Like a dad joke. But I forget the name of those creatures, the ones that they took them to.
Yeah.
But they're in a lot of Star Wars stuff now. Those
Well,
little-
they're the latest one. I thought they were only in that Rise of Skywalker.
they're in that one. I thought they were in. Thought one guy, maybe it's a different
They're called.
different species that was in Solo, the pilot. I thought he was one of them.
The name was like an entry.
Mm.
Ferret something, right? That thing. The name.
Yeah. I'll look it up later.
Yeah.
But they're like really good, and basically because they can actually their eyes with their naked eyes they can see like microscopic stuff. That's why they're always fixing droids.
Mm.
So they're very good droid fixers because they're really good with complex parts. They're like, no, we can't fix it, and that was a comedic part because they're in their little like Hobbit place,
Yeah.
because they're so small, and it's like a little cutout in the wall.
Yeah.
Their little garage, and so he's sitting in there like like he can his head's touching the ceiling, and he's sitting down, and then.
And then they speak kind of broken English.
And then Karga
Yeah.
is outside looking,
Trying to translate.
trying to translate, even though he can understand everything
Yeah.
they're saying. We can understand everything they're saying. He's
They're
just
like-
translating.
broken.
He's like, he says it's broken. Oh man, that was funny. And then,
But those little creatures are funny. They're like cute.
and the funniest part of it is that Grogu grabs one at the.
Yeah, he treats it like a doll, like a stuffed animal. So he's grabbing it and like, Bad baby.
bad baby.
He's grabbing those things like it's a rag
So
doll.
that's one side quest he's gonna go on. He's gonna try to find a missing piece to fix that thing. Oh, and then there was pirates outside of the school, and then they're just starting trouble. They just wanted to. They wanted to drink inside the school. Obviously, you can't drink inside the school, so they were just there for drama, and they got blasted. First Carter blast one, and then Joan blast the other two. And then they let one escape, which is always they say, "Oh, this is a good idea. He'll let people know we're not to be messed with," kind of. And it's like, has that worked in any movie? Like,
Yeah.
Let somebody get away.
Can't kill someone and be like, oh, it's fine.
Yeah, he's gonna kill his friends, and he's gonna forget about it. But yeah, it was pretty funny because I don't know. I mean, we're going like kind of frame by frame. I mean, we don't have to, but it was that good because there was a lot of action. And then after that, there's a starfighter chase.
With
So
pirates.
the pirates come back, and the king pirate looked cool. He looked like Swamp Thing with the mossy beard and everything. So obviously they put a lot of thought into him. He's going to be back. They escaped him. I'm hoping, because these are the same species of species that Hondo is. This is Hondo species.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Another pirate, Hondo Manaka. So I'm hoping that they lead up to Hondo. Because
explain the whale, the space whale.
Oh, so yeah,
it does mean something.
Yeah, so during hyperspace, and I don't know if Grogu was, he has his little bubble where he can look out.
Yeah, he sits in his little seat.
So he can look out and see everything around the ship, like where R2 sits in, which is weird because R2 didn't even need a bubble.
Yeah.
And I don't know what kind of glass can withstand the pressures of space, but okay, it's Star Wars.
Yeah, like what's hyperspace? Like, how do you do hyperspace?
I'm doing hyperspace, and I'm looking at basically a plexiglass, But yeah, well, I guess the Millennium Falcon had a lot of glass on it too, so in the front part. So hey, it's there's precedent. But yeah, he's during hyperspace, and this is the first time we see I'm gonna be able to see the shadows of the space whales from Rebels, the ones that took
Ezra
and Grand Admiral Thrawn.
The whale took Ezra and Thrawn.
Yeah, and then that ended that series, and so
And that Ahsoka is looking for
for
Thrawn
them.
because in Mandalorian season
last season 2.
Yeah, in Mandalorian season 2, she asked when she fought that one lady. She's
Yeah.
like, "Where's Grand Admiral Thrawn?"
Yeah,
because she's looking for Ezra.
mm-hmm. And they said at the end of Rebels, her and Sabina, now it's time to go find Ezra, because now the war is over, and that's how that show ended, actually. So
Was that? Oh, because it's Rebel, the Empire was still in power.
yeah, and then the last episode was after the Empire fell.
Okay, that's right.
So that's probably like closer to Mandalorian timeline,
Oh,
the time frame, I should say. And then, of course, he goes and sees Bo-Katan, and she's just depressed.
she's brooding on the throne.
Brooding on the throne. There's nobody in her castle's empty. There's just like one droid.
So that's one of the Mandalorian planets, or
Yeah, it's a moon, I think.
moon.
Yeah, there's a lot of the Mandalorians back in the day were an empire. They had lots of planets, but I think this was the one that was in the actual system of Mandalore, which is weird because it's like if your planet was poisoned and the empire fell, wouldn't you? Okay, maybe I don't want to go down to that planet, but wouldn't you at least fly a ship by to take a look? I remember like a few years ago, when my cousins, they grew up in Mission Viejo, and they had a house. I just drove by it because I was driving by from Orange County. I just to see what the house looks like. Why wouldn't you at least just drive by your planet to see like?
Well, because when they say poison, they might mean we might get poised.
No, I'm saying don't get on the planet. Just fly a ship by and say, okay, send a droid down. Or
yeah, like did they not have droids?
They
like,
have lots of.
It.
She had a droid right on her landing pad.
Send that droid.
I mean, in a world full of space creatures.
Well, first of all, how did she lose the Darksaber? Did she actually fight Moff Gideon?
Well, I don't know.
See, they never explained that.
He either beat
She's
her
a
or
bad
stole
leader,
it.
anyways. Like,
Yeah.
first of all, you lost the Darksaber, and then you're not even going to go
Well, she
check
didn't
out your
get
planet.
it. Well, she doesn't
Yeah,
think
she
she
didn't
deserved
get-
it because
yeah.
Sabine just gave it to her.
Yeah,
So,
but she had it.
and she lost it. Yep.
And then she wanted it back, and then she lost it again, or not even
Mm-hmm.
somebody else fought for it.
Yeah.
And now she's all mad at herself.
Yeah.
Because he asked where everyone was, and she said after she came back without the saber, everyone just abandoned her. That's what she said.
Yep. So then, yeah, he's gonna go off and says, "I'm going down to Mandalore," and she's like, pretty much like, "Goodbye." She's just so passive aggressive. And
She wasn't like that in Rebels, was she?
She wasn't defeated. She wasn't a defeated person. I think she's PTSD. Darth Maul killed her sister. Then she lost her planet. Then she lost it again. I mean, she's been through a lot. It cut her some slack. Her people left her.
Need some therapy.
Yeah.
Is there a therapy droid?
Need one. R2. But yeah, so that's pretty much how it ended, and it was. I think that was there a lot of like great writing and stuff. It was good, but I think it did what it had to do to get people back into the series.
Yeah.
Because I think if they would have had like a slow start, like we're starting this new storyline and we're building something up, like Andor speed, like people have been really upset.
Yeah.
They got them right back into the action,
Mm-hmm.
and they went from fighting a giant alligator to shooting up bandits, then shooting up bandits again in space. Yeah, it was.
It's consistent with what the Mandalorian series is.
Right.
So you can't be like, oh, after watching Andor, this is so boring or whatever.
But that's why a lot of shows fall off because they don't go back to their roots.
Yeah, this is consistent.
Mm-hmm.
The Mandalorian has always been like this, so there's nothing new here.
Yeah. So we'll see. And, Grogu's still cute and funny.
Yeah.
The question is how much time has passed since season 2, because we don't actually know when the Book of Boba Fett took place.
Oh, Favreau said that I didn't really listen carefully, but you had it on, and then I kind of heard.
Well, Favreau's going back and forth. First
yeah,
he's
he
saying
said
it's
they've been traveling for a couple of years now.
But
years.
I mean, but we don't know how long Grogu trained with Luke.
Yeah.
And so it could be a couple years, it could be 1 year,
But
it
he's
could be
saying
5
in terms
years,
of the thing that I caught was Din Djarin and Grogu at this point has been traveling for a long time.
The whole series has been like 5 years maybe.
Yeah.
We don't know. And since Grogu ages so slow, we wouldn't be able to tell by looking at him.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I guess you could look at that Carl Weathers guy. He has a gray beard now, so
Yeah, but he's
probably
also
is
just cleaned
at
up.
least 7 years, 7 years.
Yeah, maybe.
But he did say they've been traveling for a while now together.
And they did bring up Cara Dune, which is
Yeah.
I didn't think they would. But
Yeah.
they said, yep, she got, after she turned in Moff Gideon, the Special Forces recruited her, and that's why she's not in this episode, in this series. But, I mean, I'm just wondering if there's, like, hope that they're going to bring her back at some point. Because usually when they're definitely sure they're not going to bring somebody back, just be like, oh, yep, she, her starship blew up when on the way to such and such,
Well, they wouldn't even say anything.
Or they wouldn't say anything at all, yeah. So, I don't know.
I think Moff Gideon will be back for sure.
Well, he's definitely coming back.
He was at the premiere.
Yeah. Yeah. But that was it for the first one. They did a really good job. I'm already excited for next week. See what's happening. So, Mandalorian's back. And I think, I don't think we'll do this every week, but we'll definitely be doing a wrap up at the end of the season, and we'll have a prize. Didn't want to give a prize now because, we already have, the Ant-Man prize going on. Can't give away too many spoiler prizes at once. People get confused. But
Like
yeah, like you. But that's it for this week. We will be back at Disneyland a week from Saturday, so we'll have another podcast episode before then. And we will debut our Mandalorian themed in-park giveaway.
Oh, yeah.
But until then, leave reviews. Leave reviews for all your podcast creators. Shout outs to Podcast Mics for Magic. Go there, donate to the Chalk Foundation, Children's Hospital of Orange County, or like and share their stuff. That campaign is ongoing. And I'm Brian.
I'm Tracy.
Stay magical.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe and visit us at www.ropedroppingknowledge.com.